Welcome to episode 3 of Hambassadors, our show that lets you in behind the scenes of the Between Two Beers podcast. How are you doing, Shay?
Yeah, I'm good. I was thinking maybe I should have done the intro that time around because it seems that the Between Two Beers universe is calling us out on repeated themes and sayings.
Yep, and you're going to get called out for universe, I'm sure. There's a lot of words we say we've been made aware that annoy people, and this was our own doing by blowing it up, but I don't know, it's been a bit of a reflective week.
Yeah, I feel like if you spend a lot of time with somebody, maybe you zone out to the words and turns of phrase they use all the time. But we got a Facebook comment.
YouTube.
Oh, God, a YouTube, Facebook. I don't know. There's so much going on in the universe now.
Oh, stop saying universe, man.
It's like that's the new thing. But we did get a YouTube comment which said, love the episode, wish you wouldn't use the word journey so much.
Love the episode, would love it more if you didn't use journey so much.
Yeah,
I don't know if I needed to correct you on that.
No, I feel like you do. Like, and people might pick up on. I'm a little bit frazzled because I'm really being mindful of what I'm saying because we've got a list in front of us of apparent phrases that we use a lot.
Yeah, so we took that comment and we opened it up to our listeners on social media and said, what words or phrases annoy you that we say? And we got an avalanche of stuff. And this is what I mean by it's kind of shaken us a little bit because every time a new message would appear, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I can see how that's annoying.
It's hard not to take it personally as well.
And when you do so many episodes, it's easy to fall into lazy tropes of doing the same thing. And it kind of just highlighted it. And it's given me a bit of a shake up.
Yeah.
I think we need to freshen everything up.
Yeah. That's true.
So, we're going to work through some of them. First one was, you're going to love this one.
Yeah,
and I say this in every intro. You're going to love this one. And it's lazy. All it is lazy because the worst part of this job is writing intros.
Yeah.
And how am I going to sort of just like say the last thing before I get to the sponsors? Oh, you're going to love this one. Easy.
Do you literally have it kind of typed out and then you just delete the paragraphs above, you're going to love this one, and then write something?
Yeah. We're going to freshen it up.
How the sausage is made. Oh, it's so good.
That's a good one. Another one is, I'm not the outro guy. And we got this, I think this might have been the most popular comment, it got liked a lot, is the little stupid thing I do at the end where we've made out Shay to be the outro guy and he does a bloody good job of it. We're going to keep that. But I don't need to announce it every time. I'm not the outro guy, but here's something I'm going to say and then I'm going to throw it to Shay, who does the big outro. Well, I don't need to say that.
You started the pre-outro, which I think is why you've had to reinforce that that's not the outro, that there is an outro coming up.
But I can imagine people getting to the end and go, oh, that's fucking shit, man. Just get on with it.
But also I think in our defense, the guest has not heard maybe that I'm the outro guy until we're in the recording. So,
well, that's the world we're in,
the universe,
where these people that listen to every episode, I can imagine it would just rile them up. But I was sort of trying to get new listeners, so I need to let them know you're the outro guy.
Yeah.
Rudimentary. This is you.
That's me.
Is you, and this pissed me off because you used it about 4 times in one episode, like in quite quick succession.
Yeah, and I didn't know. This came as a shock to me because I had a rudimentary understanding.
Rudimentary understanding.
So I'll retire that one. Maybe it's a basic understanding, or my understanding is, or correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Journey. Yeah, we've been over that one. We both use that one way too much.
Journey's been retired.
Strength of character. Yeah, I know. We're both saying it. I say it all the time in my outros. I feel like there's a lot of strength of character with the people that we speak to, but maybe I shouldn't point that out in such a way.
It's just an easy default one to go to,
right.
where you're trying to think of something like clever to wrap things up. Just the strength of character, the vulnerability,
raw authenticity.
Authenticity.
We've almost depowered a lot of those words.
Shut up.
Just carry on with it.
This one was hard to read. Steve talking about his 4 kids and football injuries, because I consciously make an effort not to bang on about the kids because I know that would be annoying to people. But I feel like you're pushing that agenda sometimes.
Yeah, I wanted to humanize you as a father and a family man, but I realized as well, like, really referencing the football injury, it's a little bit punching down, so I should probably stop there. I'm not going to apologize for trying to bring your family into the universe.
Do I need to be humanized? Am I just a robotic question answer?
So unrelatable.
That fucking intro robot, and he asked the questions.
I tell you what, they tacked on Seamus at the Olympics and the cheeseburger. I'm not shelving that at all.
That's got a life of its own now.
That stays.
That's a gag.
Anytime that someone has been at the Olympics, I'm bringing that one out.
Let me paint a picture. That's you. That's me. That's me.
You don't try to pin that one on me.
Yeah, that's me. Let me paint a picture. How we do things around here, that's me as well.
Yeah.
You just hate yourself, eh?
It would be remiss if I didn't mention. That's very much a me. Yeah. I don't know why I don't say we should mention. Like, it's funny. I say it's funny as well, and I also say
this is going to be the end of Between Two Beers.
Yeah, we may as well not record anything.
Now. We can't say anything.
I feel like is another one that we say, but that's almost to justify in case you say something wrong. I feel like my rudimentary understanding on this, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. Fuck, it's hard not to fall into those kind of. Yeah, those bicycle marks, those rut marks of just this is the way I talk.
That's nice. That's original. That's original words.
Oh,
Haven't
okay.
heard that one before.
Haven't you?
Hambassador. People are sick of Hambassador already.
Well, they're probably not tuning into this then.
I don't know. We can't really change that. That's the horse we've what's the saying?
We've ridden in on?
Yeah.
I think that's the saying. Hambassador kind of got freshened up a little bit on socials too when Zambia were in town for the Women's World Cup. People saying you missed the trick, should have renamed it Zamilton, and talked about them being Zambassadors, which again, this is kind of dated, but at the time it would have been funny.
Yeah, people are going to hate that too.
What, but being dated?
Just more Hambassador chat.
Well, funnily enough, someone, Courtney from the ACC, Courtney Enor, thought that Hambassadors was a reference to cured meat. that we were just really
ham guys,
really enthusiastically supporting the delicatessen section of the supermarket. So no, it is Hamilton where we both reside.
My 2-year-old daughter's favourite food is ham and milk. Oh, here I am talking about my kids again.
Maybe you do it more than you realise.
So yeah, that was all swirling around in our head. Reflective week, but then our white knight Mike Berry swooped in. Mike Berry commented, in their defence, you try making 2 hours of original content every week without repeating yourself. And Seamus, please don't stop making obscure 90s references. Love them. Bloody good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
We do repeat ourselves a lot, but
fuck it.
Yeah.
Who cares? Deal with it.
Yeah.
Thank you for the encouragement on the 90s obscure references. I feel like sometimes they fly over people's heads. I feel like sometimes they're very, very good ones, and maybe Hambassadors, the Facebook.
All right, rate yourself.
Maybe
sometimes these are amazing.
Well, they are, and I think sometimes maybe I could on Hambassadors just clarify or reference what I'm meaning in an episode by adding a link or something in there to let people into the mind of a madman.
Yeah, nice. But we actually had quite a good week, didn't we? We were out in the public speaking arena over the last week. What did we do?
Yeah, we had 3 speaking engagements, 2 on a Wednesday, on a school night, which is probably another word. It's late on a school night. We won't keep you up much longer. But no, on Wednesday, we were invited to Soda in Hamilton to speak at their power lunch about our journey, which was...
you son of a bitch. Do not use any of the words you're about to use.
Okay. To speak about our podcast and how it had started and where it is now. At the same time, later in Auckland, we were asked to do the same thing. And it was awesome to reflect back on the last 4 years. We put a presentation together. We used the Dalvid. I'm really conscious about what I'm saying and how I'm saying it.
It's ruining your flow.
It is ruining my flow. We spoke about the David Galbraith analogy of the cake and the icing, and we spoke a lot to the cake, which is the effort that we put into putting the best podcast episodes out. So really, really enjoyable. And our first time to actually kind of speak about the podcast and what we've done and how we've done it.
Yeah, reflecting on it was really cool. We'd never been asked to tell our story before, and then twice in one day they asked for the exact same thing. It was like a 20-minute presentation and then Q&A and slides and videos and stuff. And a chance to just, tell people how we started in my garage and how we've got to and the downloads and the guests and stuff. It was really, quite a powerful day. I remember driving back thinking that was really cool what we just did. And that led into Friday night where we hosted the Hamilton Boys High Foundation dinner. You emceed it, I did the Q&A.
Yeah, third time for me to MC the Hamilton Boys Old Boys Foundation Trust dinner, auction and dinner. I didn't start so strongly with my intro remarks, so third time I kind of maybe rested on my laurels a little bit.
A little bit of autopilot. I'll jump in here because third time in a row, I've been to all of them. The first time you did it, man, hit it out of the park. Great gags and throwbacks, and you'd clearly put a lot of work into it. You were firing on all cylinders. This last one, you did a job. You got a pass mark, but...
Yeah, I think I fell maybe into a little bit of overconfidence, and what rattled me, or what got in my head, so... There was a story in the New Zealand Herald about Hamilton Boys and its rowing program and a number of breaches that they'd made in the Māori Cup. And someone mentioned this to me on the day, literally maybe an hour before I was due to kind of start. And one of the guest speakers was Sean Kirkham, Tokyo gold medalist in the men's rowing 8. Couldn't find him beforehand, kind of panicking that
you were a bit flustered.
I was really flustered because guest speaker not there. I thought he wasn't there. He was there. So I thought, I'll jump up, and he's a rower. Rowing's in the news. Oh, cool. I've got an idea for a little piece. So I made a reference to maybe he'd avoided the dinner because of the alleged breaches that the school had made.
Scandal.
in rowing. It did not go down well. I think it was a combination of it was a shit gag in a room full of people that support the school, and also the news probably hadn't permeated through.
Yeah.
So there was just kind of confused looks.
Groans. There was a few,
Yeah. And it just goes to just stick to script.
Yeah.
Just if you're gonna do something, just stick to the script.
Yeah.
I think if I'd stuck to the script, it would have been a bit better. And that rattled me.
Yeah.
But I thought you came back and saved the night. First time for you to get on stage. You did a Q&A with 3 old boys who are now All Blacks Sevens stars. And you had a difficult slot. Post-auction, shout out to Export Beer. They provided a lot of the beer for the night, so thank you very much to our friends there. But there was a few of the sponsors' products sunk by that stage.
Yeah, it was. Me and Che are looking to get more into this live sort of Q&A scene. And it was quite a big gig. It was like 250 people. And the later these things go in the night, the harder it gets. So this was after the dinner and the keynote and the dessert and the auction. And people were pissed up. And the last thing you want... So this was a on-stage Q&A with 3 guests and 1 mic that they were passing between them. But the last thing you want is a little sort of pre-chat combo with the guests. And one of them says, yeah, if I could just talk as little as possible, that'd be great, bro. No, cool. Yeah, well, 25 minutes, I guess I'll just talk to myself.
No, I thought you did really well.
No, it was good, and they were good, and they sort of warmed into it. Peyton Spencer, Regan Ware, and Joe Webber had fun in the end, and yeah, definitely something we want to do again.
Yeah, complete opposite to me. Well-researched, thoughtful questions. The challenge of 1 mic between 3 guests, but you navigated it really well.
Oh, cheers, man. And
I
know
awesome.
It's hard for you to say nice things about me. So.
I say nice things about you all the time. All the time, except for your parking.
Oh, jeez. So another cool thing that happened this week is we got sent some audio from an episode with Fletch and Vaughan. So we got approached a while ago. Air New Zealand want to carry Between Two Beers podcast on their flights, but in order to make them, I don't know, good for everyone, kids included, they had to edit out all the swearing. So it was this legend Helen's job to go through all of the episodes which we nominated for Air New Zealand and take out all the swear words. And I think she took out 27 from our It with Fletch and Vaughan and put them into this little compilation, which we're going to play for you now.
Fletch and Vaughan, welcome to Between Two Beers.
Fucking
Fuckers!
Yeah, Fletch and Vaughan, thanks for your time. That's a lot of swear words from one episode, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like we got away too. Like that was definitely Fletch and Vaughan's voices for the majority of those. I didn't pick my voice. I didn't pick your voice too many times. But they must just bottle the profanity up.
I think that's it, because they can't swear on radio. They do that 5 days a week, 3 hours a day. And so the freedom to swear, I mean, they really embraced it.
They really went for it. And when you hear them all back to back like that, it's quite a piece of content.
Yeah. Question from Eddie Trubshoe. So he has written in and said, what guest has given you a takeaway motivation perspective that you've taken into your everyday life? For me, Lisa Carrington saying each race is like a trip to the playground was an awesome way to look at footy. And James Harnett has come in with a similar question, which we'll address both at once. He said, which answer from a guest made you react in a way that you never expected, and why? Shay?
Firstly, a little shout out to Eddie and James, otherwise known as Elmo, two former Waikato Unicol footballers that linked together at the Labour Weekend tournament that we used to go to with Lokanoo FC. So great that they're tuning in. For me, it was a recent episode with Madeline Sami and talking about the DDC. So I didn't know what the DDC was. She made a reference, like she went to fist bump me for being part of the DDC, which is the Dead Dads Club. It kind of, after the episode, I threw that term out, DDC, to someone else who I knew was in the club. And they were like, oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I think it is a unique kind of position when you have lost a parent. It gives you a different perspective of that. And shout out to our social media guru, Marcus, who messaged me privately in the lead up to that and said, hey, man, would you be comfortable to share if we use that piece as one of our social media promotions? And initially I kind of went, oh, no, not really. And then, he sort of said, oh, look, I thought it was a real awesome piece. It made me think about my relationship with my dad. And I think it'll resonate with a lot of people. And I listened back and I thought, oh yeah, actually cool. Let's share that. And it's a special thing to kind of be part of, I guess, and to kind of have that perspective on relationships with your parents and how things work. So definitely made me reflect on the current relationship, like the relationship I have with my mum, who's still around, and the relationship I had with my dad, and also like look at other people's kind of dynamics with their parents as well. So really kind of thought-provoking for something which kind of started just as a throwaway line.
Yeah, perspective is the word which I'm going to latch onto for my answer. Josh Komen, episode we released on Monday. We used it a lot. It's probably one of those words we're going to get cancelled for now. But when you hear the story, the epic, incredible story of what he has been through and how close he's been to death's door and the absolute pain and suffering he had gone through and come out the other side of with a optimistic, half glass full, eternally enthusiastic attitude, it puts your daily struggles or the things you think are hard into perspective. It reminded me of when I read David Goggins' audiobook, listened to his audiobook. It just put into perspective what you think is hard. There was a story about him doing a 100-mile race around this course to qualify for this ultra, and he got about 40% of the way through and thought he was done, and then pushed through and did another 60 miles, and it was just an absolutely broken man. And it's like, that is the point. When you think you're at your pain threshold or whatever, the most challenging, you've still got more than 50% to give. And I thought about that with Josh, about the struggles he faced, and he's coming out of beating cancer twice and he has heart attacks, and he bounces out the other side, and he's married and he's got a kid and he's got this incredible story to tell. So perspective of, you don't actually have it that hard. Your life doesn't suck that much. Other people have it worse. Just keep going. And it kind of ties into Duane Dalton. So I'd like to talk about that one, because it's the beginning of these low-key legends, which we're really excited about sharing. Guys with lower profiles who just have the most epic stories. And his tale of loss and tragedy and rebuilding was just so well received by our audience. And I think the reason why is because of his attitude, his optimism and his outlook on life. Despite suffering the worst thing, losing your partner, the mother of your kids, the way he approached life in the aftermath and is today, inspiring. And we always talk about wanting to share rooms with people who leave you feeling great and energized you. He certainly was one. Josh Komen certainly was another. So yeah, I think those two.
Yeah, having those two almost back to back as well was phenomenal in terms of energizing. It was a little bit the same with Izzy Whitley as well. Like, you take little pieces of information that resonate with you away from these episodes, and you can kind of build your own toolkit on how to respond or how to be. It definitely, in terms of what we do and how we do it, is pretty cool, pretty special. Like Eddie's point on Lisa Carrington, the opportunity. This is our playground. We get the opportunity every week to come in and have fun with someone and share their life stories. It's that part of storytelling is really, really powerful.
And you get to do a few accents along the way. Highlight of your month I've got here might be accent related.
Yeah, one of our social clips with Madeline Sami around accents, I flexed my South African accent, and a friend of mine, Mark Oates, his wife, who is South African, said, geez, Seamus's South African accent is better than Leonardo DiCaprio in Blood Diamond. I don't know whether that was a compliment, because the accent in that is pretty terrible.
It's not a great one.
I think my South African is pretty strong.
What did she say about my South African accent?
She said she'd love to hear it again. So,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's good.
I've only got one word.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think it's really good. So yeah, no, that was nice to get a little bit of feedback on a little bit of comedic relief.
Yeah. My highlight of the month. I called a plumber, had some work needed done around the house, and after a few exchanges, I sort of started giving him my name and details, and he said, I listened to your podcast. I thought I recognised the voice. And I got a real buzz out of that. So shout out Dave from Soda Plumbing. So he came round, and him and his offsider, they were both big fans of the pod. And I don't take that sort of thing for granted. Like it's this whole, I very nearly said journey there.
Just be careful. Just be very careful.
This ride we're on is sort of snowballing, and there are times like that where we get recognised, or someone who's totally random says, I love the pod. And it means a lot, and I don't want to sort of, I want to get used to that. Like it gave me a real cool feeling. And chatting with him for a couple of minutes about, he started listening back at Paul Nixon at episode number 2, and he stuck with us, and his mate said he listens every Monday. Those little interactions, really cool. Highlight of my month.
Yeah, the other thing that's really cool is getting feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. So we get sent, we've been sent a couple of times. One was a hoodie, someone wearing one of our hoodies. Shout out Ben Latham on the way to Waikato Stadium for one of the Women's World Cup matches. That was awesome. And then Matt Silverton on holiday in Fiji repping his Hambassadors cap, which was pretty cool. I like the kind of Fiji thing. I've got a good little Fijian accent in my locker sometimes too, as well. Which, if you want to poke the bear, I can.
Go on, man. Go on. It seems like you want to share your Fijian. Go on.
Fijian's it's a good one because they roll their R's and it's quite sing-songy and up and down. It's sort of. So if we were to thank Matt, Matt, we really want to thank you for wearing the Hambassador hat on your holiday in Fiji. We really appreciate that and hope you had a chance to drink some grog and try some Fijian chow.
Yeah, I really want to say it's bad, but it's actually quite good. Every part of me will say that's cringe, bro. But it's good.
It is. Yeah, I don't know. I still don't know whether accents are problematic or not. So we might have to shut that.
I think you're okay doing that one. You're all right doing a Fijian. If I did it, maybe not so much.
Well, look, Matt, Eddie, James, everybody else that's taken time to send some stuff in, thank you very much. Keep them coming in. If you haven't already, get onto our Spotify, follow us on socials, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I'm trying to take
good hustle, man.
I'm trying to take that heat off you because you often have to carry the can,
do those intros. I'm going to freshen things up. You just wait. There's going to be some new intros coming.
Yeah, nice.
But good chance to plug the merch. We do have hats, 3 different styles of hats and hoodies. Go to the ACC website or their shop on their Facebook page, or flick us a message if you can't find it, and we'll link you in.
Or if you want us to do something slightly different in the merch space, maybe we could explore some ideas.
Or if you want us to come and talk to your company or conference or whatever, we're here to tell a story.
Yeah, that's a good point. It was cool. It was cool to be out and about amongst people that knew the podcast, but also people that had no idea about the podcast and were discovering Between Two Beers for the first time. Amazing as well, like with two quite...
Amazing, bro. You got to stop saying amazing.
okay, I'm trying to think of another word. I'm actually like really consciously thinking of what I'm trying to say, and it's disturbing my flow. I'm gonna stick with it. It was amazing that the questions in the Q&A from both sides were quite similar from two really different groups of audiences. Like, what was your favorite episode? I can't remember any of the other questions right now.
Do you still socialise with guests?
It was almost like they'd listened to the last episode of Hambassadors, which hopefully they had.
Yeah. All good. Catch you next week. Oh no. How do you say it? Yeah. So. Yeah. So. Yeah. Hi, Russ. We can tell some stories. Answer your questions. See you next time.
Enjoy.